A few days ago, AirTable released their official MCP server, and I think this is great news for anyone that uses AirTable. In this video, I'm going to show you why that is. I'm going to explain to you exactly how to set it up so you can get access to your data, and you can also speak with your data in a way that allows you to get the best information to make the right decisions for your business. So this is the no-code bridge between AI and your data, something that before was more difficult to get. You could get stuff in AirTable, you could open up your AirTable in your desktop, for example. You'd be able to see all the tables, all the workspaces that you have. However, if I were to create a new database here and I add some information to it, what was difficult was for us to have the ability to open up something like Claude right here and then connect it directly to AirTable. There were other situations, other sort of unofficial solutions, like if I go to browse connections here or connectors and I type in AirTable, there is an AirTable MCP server developed by Adam, our guy here, but it is all unofficial sort of solutions, which aren't ideal when you want to have when you want to be sure that your data is actually secure and it is not ending up in the wrong hands. So what AirTable did a few days ago, if I look at this right here, so this was released updated and released on the 12th of February, which is 2 days ago, using the AirTable MCP server. So it lets you connect AI tools directly to your AirTable bases. This integration allows you to ask questions about your data, create and update records, and analyze information, all through natural conversations with AI tools like Claude, ChatGPT, Cursor, and more. So going back here, this eliminates that data trap where every click, every filter, and every export is a barrier between you and your data. Your information, your data was trapped behind interfaces, not AI, where you can have a conversation to get the thing that you wanted. So before, you could do it all. You could build custom AI API developments. You could have Zapier, extract information, and then you extract that data, and then you speak to it. You could use Make, you could use N8N, but there was a lot of friction to getting that done. You could also just CSV export the whole thing, import it into ChatGPT, into Claude, and then speak with your data, so to say. But all this was hours of manual filtering. So now with MCP, there is the natural language to Airtable sort of possibility. Zero middleware required, direct AI database conversations, and this can be set up in seconds, not hours. So quick thing about what is MCP. And the idea is that you have Claude as the AI, you then have an MCP server that allows you to connect to your Airtable right here as the data, and then you have your business logic. So just to quickly touch on to what is required in order to get this done, you need an Airtable account with a base or multiple bases, just like I showed you right here. You need Claude Code or Claude Desktop installed, and I'll show you the installation for both. You need Node.js installed if you're running this locally, and you need an API token from Airtable, and I'll show you how to set it up as well here in a second. So let's get into the setup process. We'll install the MCP server, we'll configure the connections. I'll show you how to authenticate using the API key. I'll also mention a separate way how you can authenticate, and then I'll show you how to do a natural query. So if we go back here, let's just quickly set up a simple table. So we have Kevin, we have John, we have Melanie, and let's also have Adam. Let's set some notes. This is me, and I live in Malta. John is my friend, and he lives in the UK. Melanie, I recently met Melanie, and she's great. And then we have Adam. Adam is a great client of mine. Let's also delete that. Let's add a status here. So let's say this is, let's do to do. Let's put John as in progress, and let's put in 2 statuses here done. Let's remove the additional fields, and maybe let's have an email here field. So I'll put in a few emails here: kevin@gmail.com, John, Melanie, and then we have adam@gmail.com. So what I want to do here in this YouTube contact database is I want to be able to connect to this via number one, a tool like Claude on my desktop without using the unofficial solutions. So we're going to go here and use the custom connector in a second. Even more importantly, for what I do and what I want to build is a quick Claude Code solution that allows me to not have to use the interface, but do it directly through CLI, through code. So let's also change here to my folder. I'm going to create a new directory called AirTable MCP, and I'm going to cd into that as well. I'm going to start my Claude Code instance right here. So pretty much the same stage right here. If we go to the AirTable documentation here, it tells you about what you can do with MCP, prerequisites, and then we're setting up the quick MCP connection. So what we need essentially is to grab the URL. So let's grab this right here, and I'm going to paste this in here, call this AirTable MCP, hit add. And now when I try to connect, this will take me to the Airtable screen where I can select a base or add all resources. But in my case, I'm going to call this whatever I called my YouTube contact database right here. Grant access. I can open Claude right here, and now we have an issue right here, which is fine. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go to developer, I'm going to edit config, I'm going to right click and open with text edit right here. And here, as you can see, I don't have anything pretty much right there. I have some preferences for sidebar mode, which is chat, and then I have my co-work scheduled tasks enabled, which is false. So that is fine. So what I can do is I can go to start a new chat, and I'm going to say, look at the settings.json. I want to insert an Airtable API key so I can connect to Airtable via API. I already added the MCP for Airtable as a custom connection. So while this is doing its thing, I'm just going to go here, zoom in a bit. I'm going to say I want to create a new Airtable MCP connection. This is the URL, just paste that in there. You can also find information here. So let's just give it the help file right here. Let's see if we can copy this. Nope. So I'll just grab the whole thing right here and just paste that in there. I have an Airtable API key. It's called personal access token ready for you. So this will do its thing right here. Now, in the meantime, let me first check your current tabs and look at the settings. Okay, cool. So while this is doing its thing, what I'm going to do is go to this URL, airtable.com/create/tokens. I'm going to create a new token, call it YouTube MCP Airtable. And I'm going to give it, there are specific access that you need to give it, but just for the purposes of this, I'll just give it all the scopes available. And I think there are like 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, I'm going to add the base, which is YouTube-contact TP. And if I hit create token, this now gives me this personal access token. So here it said I need yours token, so I'll paste it below. And now it should ask me for the token here as well. Go ahead, provide the token. I'm actually copy this and now paste that in there. Obviously don't share any tokens right there. I'm going to say, tell it what to do, so I can paste in my token right here. So this will now be implemented or be considered as part of the plan. Let me update the plan with the token and finalize. In the meantime here, let's see what's happening here. Switch browser, I'm not quite sure what's happening here. So we might want to stop this and say, I have the token. Let me actually paste that in there. What's happening? And just paste that other message there. Close that. You should see a Chrome. You don't need a browser. You can authenticate via the PAT. You're right, you need a browser. All right, give this a second here. Let's say clear and execute right here, which is a new feature. I need your to configure the MCP server. Okay, did I not already paste that? Let me try this again. Copy this, paste. So theoretically, this is what we need. So even in the Claude session right here, I could say use this, update the Claude desktop config. So what I could do is copy the path with the JSON above, insert the PAT, which is what we have right here. You could also do this manually as well. All right, cool. So here it's saying it doesn't have access to that. That's fine. So I'm going to open with text editor. Let's copy this right here. We don't need the cat part. Yeah, I think that's all we need, but I don't want to remove what I have here. I already have this in the JSON file. Here's the merge version, great. Remove the cat part, so I can insert directly in the JSON. So essentially, I don't want to have this and then remove it. I'll just insert the JSON directly. So I'll save that. Obviously, there's the token right there. Over here, it's saying all files have been created. Great. Here, it's saying you need to restart Claude Code. So let's do one thing at a time. So here, if I close that, restart Claude desktop. And over here, I'm just going to exit here. I'm going to start Claude again. I'm going to resume the conversation. And I'm going to say just restarted. Can you see if MCP connection to Airtable works? All right, sweet. It's working. The server responded with Pong. You're set to use Airtable tools. Great. So now I can say, what tools do you have available? In the meantime, let's see what Claude is doing right here. Great. So I have a list of stuff right there. Okay, so there seems to be a bit of an issue right here with the config. So we'll sort that in a second. So here I can say, what tables do I have? One thing I want to mention is that there are no delete tools right here. So you can't delete tools, or you can't delete information from this MCP. You have one base, YouTube contact DB, great. There are these fields. Show me all the records I have in the YouTube-contact DB. So now I'm literally free to speak with my data, right? There are some issues. Sorry, I couldn't find a field with name or ID. So it's sorting its own stuff in order to figure stuff out. And here are the 4 records in YouTube contact, right? So we have John, Kevin, Melanie, and Adam. So it's finding the information here to the official Airtable MCP. What I could say is, please add another record for a new person, use mock data. And if that works, in a second, we should see that showing up here. Let's see, so it's inserting the data right here. All right, edit Sarah. So if I come here and refresh, as you can see, let's go back to, where are we? Sometimes, unfortunately, when you refresh, yeah, it loses the whole thing. So let's go back here. Let's go back to home, YouTube. And now I have Sarah is a designer. I'm at a conference, so it came up with its own thing. Similar to the short notes that we had before, right? Gave Sarah to do and then gave her an email. So what I would like to do is, first of all, close Airtable right there. And if we try and launch Claude Code, this is saying there's an error, right? So potentially there's a bit of an issue right here. If we open up with text edit, let's see. Let's go to Claude. And is there an issue with this JSON? Okay, so I mean, yeah, security issue, whatever. So what we could also do, if we try and use a connector here, manage connections. Let's see if we can connect directly. Let's add the base, YouTube-grant access. Okay, so here there seems to be an error. We can remove that. Very interesting. So it did manage to connect through Claude Code, but what if we go to a new chat right here and we give it this information and we say, can you connect to the Airtable MCP via this JSON? Paste the whole thing. That's fine. Yep. Can you see what info there is via this Airtable MCP? Okay, connector is unavailable. There still seems to be some issues right here when it comes to the desktop and online version. However, for the Claude Code version, which is ultimately what I'm really interested in, that seems to be working just as well. However, as you saw, there seems to be some issues with either, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the JSON right here, so I don't see any issues right there. And if we were to, let's say, just remove that, for example. So if we remove that, add an extra bracket right there, so it matches. We'll try and launch Claude. Let's see if that launches. Yeah, so the additional JSON for the Airtable MCP seems to be bugging out the whole thing, and here doesn't seem to be able to connect as well, even though we give it access over here, which is very interesting, I guess. Anyway, so that's how you set it up within Claude Code, and potentially there would be a fix in here as well. So the idea is that you're able to connect with your data, you're able to chat with it, filter records, search across bases, and there's a bunch of things that you can do right there, right? You can insert new rows, you can do cross-table lookups as well, all through conversation. That is the whole idea. So if you want a quick summary of what this video was all about, check the link in the description. There's a free setup guide, which can help you get up and running as well. And in the meantime, I'll speak to you in the next video.